Ahoy there, host! Welcome aboard, group leader. As you are leading video conferences with Lifeboat Online, your title there is First Mate. Now, if you are fluent in running video conferences, there are still a few things you should know. This short video just has a few practical pointers and hacks on how to optimize your use of Lifeboat Online. But I want to start with two huge pieces of news. Huge thing number one, you can also play these challenges on site in person. Online conferences will continue after the pandemic, but also Lifeboat challenges work very well with in-person on-site events as well. Small groups, often work sites, on-site classrooms, retreats, family gatherings, parties, any group that is together on-site and in person. Huge insight number two. If you wish, you can also learn the role of captain. You could explain the activities without relying on recorded video from me. The best group dynamic comes with a live leader instead of a recorded leader. You could learn many of these games by heart. So you could take over as captain and run only the slides, the item lists and the timers from each video challenge. That's all you'd need. Or do it with no video at all. As long as you are subscribing to Lifeboat Online, you are licensed to use the games with yourself as captain, whether you're online or on site, with or without the recorded video. Oh, and as I said first, you're licensed to use full videos on site in person. Now, of course, you can learn tons about hosting video conferencing from online instructional videos and live workshops and YouTube. So this talk is only about what you need for Lifeboat. Now, you may be very experienced in hosting, but there are some parts of this orientation that are vital to know. So here's some practical tips. Please consider pausing me on each slide that's presented to screen grab it or print screen so you can paste those screenshots into a doc for reference later. First is about eliminating your exposure to any kind of liability. I wrote all 50 scripts, and I have played versions of most of these games in person and or online with groups of all ages for decades. And there's never been serious complaints, and certainly no legal actions. And you will see that on camera, as the captain, I urge safety regularly. I state I am not giving professional or medical or any other legal advice. Still, no matter how small the risk, it's easy to avoid any serious exposure and just enjoy playing the games if you take these simple steps. Number one, play the intro video for all first-time players, which includes a liability waiver, including you, the host. Number two, as a fail-safe, and you can pause here to screen grab this notice, so you can paste the notice into your video conference email invites. So in your subscription, you agree to simple, common sense oversight. Now, this is relevant mostly if you are running this in the workplace context or for a community group or in a classroom, or if you're working with minors. Now, you will determine these things. Who has access to your video conference? That's common sense. The appropriateness of each activity for your participants' age range? Well, that's natural. And set a child safety policy if it's necessary and if it's enforceable. Now for a few simple practical techniques. Using the recorded captain in voiceover while screens are in gallery view. The first mate, that's you, the host, you simply turn on your microphone and turn up your speakers. And without stopping my video, you stop share my screen. Now you are all in gallery view, but the captain can still be heard giving instructions through your mic, which you left on. The captain is in voiceover. Now everyone can see each other playing the challenges instead of seeing just the captain. And you can pop out of the video conference to the Lifeboat recorded video when you need to pause or end the captain's instructions. Finally, this hack is useful for most of the Lifeboat challenges. How to feature on screen a smaller group presenting and hide the rest of the players. For players that you want featured on screen, everyone else can pin them or the host can spotlight them, which enables the rest of the gallery to be seen in the margins. But if you are not all that experienced, if you are not a hosting Jedi, there is a quicker, simpler way to do that. Hide non-video participants. The simplest way to feature a few presenters is to, on the bottom right of a Zoom video screen, there's a video button. In the arrow, you can select Settings and scroll down to select Hide non-video participants. So everyone not presenting selects Stop Video, leaving the big screen divided between the 2 to 8 players that you want featured. Now, if you're working with students or children and you're required to keep everyone on screen, then spotlighting is recommended, where the featured players are enlarged, but the other players are still seen in thumbnail around the perimeter. Now, there's a few efficiencies we learned in test marketing that you may already know. Have a co-host. They can backup record, they can mute players, they can send out materials via the chat function attached, and they can assign players to breakout rooms while you're juggling other things like juggling octopi. Secondly, review the video at least twice so you understand it well in advance, and you can alert the players in advance if they need to provide any materials like bring pen and paper, bring a potato. If the captain in voiceover mode is hard to hear in stop share mode, you can take over the captain's role. Just put on a headset and translate or repeat the captain's instructions into your microphone. Or you can just paraphrase his instructions and fake it till you make it. I am going to end this with a pop quiz. Number 1, at the beginning, what was the first piece of huge news? Number 2, what was the second piece of huge news? Survey says you can play these in person on site with any size group. You could put up the video on a TV, on a monitor, or projection, or you could have everyone on their phones for the instructions. And then they're face-to-face to play head-to-head in person. The other opportunity is you can be the captain. Once you are familiar enough with the challenges and you're a Lifeboat subscriber, it is a wonderful challenge for you to lead your group through some of your favorite games. Now, introverts who are leaders are of course welcome if they wish to stay behind the camera while the captain explains. That's it. I hope you find a handful of challenges that you learn by heart and you enjoy leading for decades to come. Because what the players contribute makes it different every time you play. Because these games are not just games. They're challenges for every individual, for you, the leader, but also a challenge for your group. Group leader, you have the helm. No.